In the Batman 2004 series, we got to see the show's version of Solomon Grundy, or what we thought was at first Grundy. In Season 2, Episode 11, Grundy's Night, the citizens of Gotham mention how the undead being known as Solomon Grundy has returned to terrorize them. Batman investigates, saying how much he doesn't believe in the undead, despite literally fighting the actual king of the undead, the vampire himself, Dracula, which technically, timeline-wise, takes place around the same time as the events of Grundy's Night, but whatever. While investigating, he notices patterns that lead to the twist. That Clayface disguised himself as Grundy, so question solved. There's no real Solomon Grundy, it's just an urban war myth that Clayface took advantage of, right? Well, that would be the case if you already ignored the ending where after Ethan is incarcerated and you hear the same Grundy moan as the bubbles, well, they bubble. But if you're still not convinced, let me introduce you to the Batman Strikes tie-in comics. On March 8, 2006, the Batman Strikes issue 19 dropped, where we find out the infamous Solomon Grundy story is true, where the zombie attacks a local businessman thing because of dumping in the swamp. Because it's disturbing his swamp. Less evil or righteous and more just so a natural protector of the swamp, and nothing more. Bruce initially believes it's Clayface again, but soon discovers it isn't. This comic reuses the look from the episode, slightly different. However, in a later tie-in comic, Grundy ages much more through his time sleeping in the swamp, as he loses his gray skin, and even if you're skinnier. So the question is, does Solomon Grundy really exist? And the final answer is yes, he does. If you take the Batman Strikes comics as canon, which in my opinion they are, because unlike the DCAU comics, they really don't contradict anything. Hell, they follow the same line as the show does. It's not like these comics just retold a new origin for Grundy. It was a new Grundy story with a previous thing. The tie-in comics mention the past events accurately with Ethan Bennett and how he uses Clayface powers to pose as Solomon Grundy. My final conclusion is that yes, Solomon Grundy is indeed real in the Batman universe. Also, unfortunately, you can't really find that much images of the comic anymore, even though I recall last time I searched the subject up, a couple of images, which might have been Twitter tweets, showed up with images of Grundy in the comic. But now you can barely find anything. Which is the same case for this, like, Avengers comic, where they're all Modocs. I remember Google searching and being able to find those images, but now they're no longer the main thing. It's weird.